So for the very first time, I'm going to post something on this channel that is not South Park and see what you guys think about it. If you don't like that it's not South Park, then I won't do any more. But if you do like it, I might do one now and then on collectibles that aren't South Park. So though I have like 300 or more autographs, these are ones that were signed on figurine packaging, mostly Funko Pops, the most popular at the moment and for quite a while now. So I'm going to go through and tell little stories about each one. Some of them boring, some of them may be interesting. But if you like collectibles, you'll like this. And like I said, I may do more of these, I may not. It depends on what you guys say. And if you like seeing stuff other than South Park just now and then. So this is the very first Funko Pop I've ever got autographed, and it is one of my faves. I met TJ Miller in 2020. This was like right before COVID hit really bad in the US. TJ Miller is a stand-up comedian, and he's also an actor. He's been in quite a few things, though he's retired from acting at the moment anyway. He was in Silicon Valley, which is probably my favorite of his work. And he gets a lot of crap from people about some stuff that happened in his past or didn't happen in his past. They weren't there, they don't know. They just like to assume everything they hear about celebrities is true, so people say bad things about him, but every time I've met him, and that's probably close to 10 times or more, he's been completely awesome. He remembered me the first few times. He's just a totally cool guy, very polite and generous with his time and his signatures. So I have a bunch of TJ Miller autographs. And if you're wondering why it says, Ryan, it's because during his stand-up he called on me and he asked my name, and I go, Ryan, because I say a lot anyway, but it sounded like I didn't know what my name was or I forgot. And he thought that was funny, so he put it on the autograph I got after the show. The next Funko Pop autograph I'm going to show you is from Martin Starr, who played Guilfoyle in Silicon Valley. He also played in Party Down and Freaks and Geeks and some other stuff. So anyway, he does a lot of charity work, and I got to meet him, I think I met him 3 times. I met him the first time in 2019 at a charity event, and he's such a cool guy. He's very laid back and down to earth, and I know that sounds cliche to say, but he just was really, really cool to me. Very patient. He took his time with the autograph. And actually, you can't even see his autograph on this because he wrote it on the side, which is fine with me. But the front just says, "To Ryan, you rock." And on the side it has his name, but we can't really see the side right now, unfortunately. This next autographed pop is from the one, the only, Paul Rudd from many, many, many movies and shows. And I chose the Anchorman pop. I don't know if he has any other pops, actually, but where he played Brian Fantana. And I met old Paul Rudd maybe 3 times or so at the same event as Martin Starr, where I got the other pop. And Paul Rudd is really cool too. He's really cool with his fans. He was very patient with me when I was nervous as hell the last time I saw him and got this signed. He actually signed 2 things for me, which is super cool, and I was like, if you only have time to sign one, I understand, that's okay. And he was like, nah, I'll sign both. And he signed it, and I made him laugh a little bit when I told him I was a fanboy. So very cool guy, that Paul Rudd. I hope I get to meet him again one day. So this Jason Sudeikis autograph may be my favorite of the Funko Pops I have signed, because I love Jason Sudeikis and I don't even know why, other than he's a great actor and he's funny. I mean, there are plenty of actors who are funnier than him, but for some reason I just think he's awesome. Maybe it's because I like Ted Lasso and he created it and wrote it with this guy, but we'll get to him in a minute. So I've met Jason several times, and the last time I was very nervous. That was earlier this year in 2025. And I let him know I was nervous, and he could tell anyway because I was shaking really bad and stuff, and he was totally cool and patient with me. He took a picture, he signed 2 things. I heard he was pretty quiet with some people that day, but he wasn't with me, and that's probably because he knew how nervous I was. Maybe it made him nervous how nervous I was. Yeah, when we were taking the picture, he looked down at me, he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, just nervous." And he was just an awesome dude, and he thanked me for going to the event and everything, and it was a good memory. So a little story about my encounter with Brendan Hunt. He did a charity event called Thunder Gong a few years ago, and he sang Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. And I actually never heard Lady Gaga sing it. I only heard him sing it. But I said to him when I met him, this is what I says. I says, you did that song better than Lady Gaga. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I was nervous, so I kept telling him he did. And he's like, no, thank you, but no. And then we said our goodbyes. That was the last thing I ever said to Coach Beard. It was an alright thing to say. I just went on with it a little too long, kind of like this video. So this, you can kind of see, is a Pinky and the Brain figure signed by Rob Paulsen, who does the voice of Pinky, and also Yakko in Animaniacs. And there isn't a huge story with this. I stayed after the show was over, Animaniacs in concert. I stayed after, and I didn't think I was going to get to see him, and we weren't supposed to see him and get autographs because something in his contract. But he did it anyway because he's that cool. He came over to us and signed for a few of us. And we talked to him for a bit, and I told him I deal with depression and stuff, and Animaniacs helped me when I was a kid get through some stuff. And he's like, that's why we do it. We do it to help people and to make people laugh and make them forget their problems for a little while. And he was a really cool dude. I've met him a few times too, but that was probably the best time. This book, signed by Richard Dreyfuss, really has nothing to do with anything else except my sister bought it for me as a joke for my birthday, even though it wasn't a joke because I did want it. But we both thought it was going to be a book, but it's actually just a little notebook, which kind of sucked, but it's still awesome because it's signed by Richard Dreyfuss. But we both thought it was funny that she paid so much money for it, and it was just a little notebook. And I have met him in person too, and he is super awesome like the others. I will tell that story another time if I do more of these. I don't know yet. My favoritist actor, Walton Goggins, who has played in many, many things over the years. My favorite being Justified. But I also love Vice Principals and Righteous Gemstones and pretty much anything else I've seen him in. But this is for Vice Principals. These are rare figurines I found on Amazon a long time ago when the show was still airing new episodes. And I went to a convention in North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere. I don't even remember. But I have a big story about him that I'll tell another time. But he was nice as hell, and he put up with my stupid shit, me being nervous and stuff. And he was just totally a calm presence. But I was not so calm because he's my favorite actor. Anyway, those are the ones I have out on display right now, and if you liked me telling these lame stories about my autographs, let me know, and I will do more of these. Otherwise, we'll stick to just South Park. Alright guys, thanks for watching.